Let's look at Tomoe Nage. Tomoe means, generally interpreted means circle. Nage means to throw or to throw over some object. Tomoe is a round little thing like this. That's a Tomoe. So the Japanese name this circle throw or round throw, and it really is a well-named technique. There are several different ways to do it. We're going to show the real basic, standard, straight line, step in Tomoe Nage like everybody sees a lot. This may be old-fashioned, but an old coach of mine said it's so old-fashioned it's cool. So here we go. So if you guys could tie up, we got Derek and Mike here. Got a standard kumikata, natural, normal grip here. What Derek's going to do is basically step into Mike. I'll get out of the camera range here. He's going to step into Mike very low. That's his base leg. That's his anchor leg right there. And when he steps in, he's going to swing in and put his other foot in either Mike's hip or his gut somewhere. And your personal preference, whether you put your foot directly in the man's, not on his belt like a lot of teachers tell, or to the side a little bit on his hip, totally up to you, totally up to the person doing it, make it work for you. So I'll come out and do it, get started again, guys. So he's going to step in, and he's going to basically roll over. Now, look at Tomoe Nage with a leg assist or a foot assist. Some people call it double leg or both leg Tomoe Nage. Call it what you want, it still works. Here's what happens. I'm going to get out of the way here. Derek, are you going to start first? Okay. Standard Tomoe Nage, you just use the one leg. Well, this one, he's going to use both of them. So he may start with one and add the second one in to give it a little more impetus and to throw a little more control over Mike's body. And there we go. You can see how he's in there. And now when he does it, he will roll Mike over and come right over on top of him. Double sleeve grip. When you're doing Tomoe Nage, this type of Tomoe Nage, you know, some throws like sumigeshi or corner counter throw, you want to get a big grip over the top. So get a big grip over. This would be not a good grip for what we want to do here. What we want to do, Derek wants to have clear opening inside of the mass of Mike's body here, his chest, hips area. Okay, so it's even better if Mike's really low and defensive, because Mike is giving Derek his hips. He's giving him a lot of space to work in there. There we go. Having a double sleeve grip, could be low, could be high, your choice entirely. Depends on you. But you're using double sleeves here grip here on the sleeve. As he steps in, he's just going to come in with a foot assist Tomoe Nage. Right on top. Notice both feet are pretty much in the hips. Okay? So one more time, and then we'll let Mike toss you a few times. Come in there. Right on top. Great Tomoe Nage. Mike, why don't you do yours and show that people will do it all a little bit differently. Standard straight line Tomoe Nage, but again, it's just with a leg assist. Right on top. Quite good, quite good. Notice how Mike's feet were right on Derek's hips, and his toes were pointed out, heels in. Very nice. Very nice. Kind of hard for the guys to do it slow, but you're doing a great job, guys. Mike, go ahead and do it fast. Do it fast, yeah. Step in. Bam, right over. You may pick up also, Derek and Mike, when they're throwing each other, they're kind of steering with their hands and steering with their feet. So if the guy's turning too far to the side, you think you'll lose control or not get him completely onto his back, you may push him with your feet, with your hands a little more over. This is a really good one you can steer with. After you've done this enough, you kind of get the feel of it. And this is a good way to get that feel of it, so you can steer them better with both your hands and your feet. So Mike's coming in. Now that lives.
So it's basically we're going to do a snap down, but we don't snap all the way down to the ground. I'm going to pop the head down, catch. Okay, so it's almost like I'm getting a head and arm guillotine. Okay, a lot of times we're from here and you just pop, come back in on it. Okay, and normally we're doing foot sweeps or singles, but sometimes they catch on to that and they pop their hips back. So as soon as his hips go back, I know he's primed for a Tomoe Nage. So everything else from there is pretty standard. I'm going to take a deep step in, and I'm going to stick my foot up there or on his hip, and then it becomes way easier because now I can actually pull and lever him over with his head and his arm. So again, I step deep in,
You end up in a nice position on top. Let's take a look at that hand position, that hand fighting you're doing. So in the top, let me get a better view here. So you got that right hand pretty much meat hook the back of the head. You're going to put that under, pop out, okay, and you kind of swim under, really. You kind of swim with your right hand under, come in. Now let me come to the other side here. Let's get a look at that view. I'll come from here, okay.
Okay, so again, popping out, coming back in.
So you're trapping. Now look at that strong overhead trap. Okay, good. I'll come back to the other side, guys. You guys we're kind of running out of mat. Why don't you guys move toward Mike's back a little bit there. There you go. So let's have a look at that again. So pop out, hook,
Okay.
and you come right over on top of them, finish with a mount position, dominant position there. Now you could be using this in no-gi as well, or gi as well, no-gi. This just happens to work very well for no-gi. Pretty much anything you can use in no-gi situation, definitely using gi.
I use this in Sambo a lot, so it doesn't really matter if you've got a gi or not. You know, I could just as easily have a grip like this and pop down, snap it down into here, okay?
And this is especially good for those guys who are very low, they have their hips very far away, they're very defensive, or just a low type slung, low fighter.
Okay, so again, got a good control of his head, because if he wants to be down there, fine, I'm going to control what he's giving me, which is his head and his shoulders. And then a deep step in, probably foot.
Come right over on top. So we'll call that as basically a guillotine grip to start your Tomoe Nage. Okay. We're going to look at Yoko Tomoe Nage, or side Tomoe Nage. In the early days when this throw became popular back in the 60s, very popular, it was also called Toby Tomoe Nage, or skip-in style Tomoe Nage, because of the different ways they did the setup. But as time went on, and as we saw more and more efficiency in this move, we saw it more to the side. So that's why it's often called Yoko Tomoe Nage these days. This is a very versatile throw in just about every body weight class and every male or female, Judo, Sambo, whatever it may be. So let's take a look at Yoko Tomoe Nage side. By the way, it's a great setup, which we're going to do here in a bit, into JUJI GATAME, which we really like. So we'll be doing a bit of that too. So let's get the guys here. We got Mike and Derek here. Derek's going to be doing the technique. I'll step over here, guys. Now, when we start our Yoko Tomoe Nage, Derek is going to be leading with his left. He's got a right side grip, but he's going to be leading with his left primarily. Okay, that's his setup leg. That's his base leg or sugar foot, whatever you want to call it. That's because why we do that is because he wants all the space to be able to move under Mike, tuck under him, put his foot right about here somewhere, and throw him over his head. So when he does this, he's going to be, we'll break it down to start. Put your foot in there and roll your head, and watch how he rolls his head under. It's very difficult not to throw him once you do this because of the momentum, the body weight going over. As you can see how that happens. So you notice he wants to start with his left foot, and look at that right foot there, and he comes right over, and he can roll over the top, as you can see. It's very important in learning Yoko Tomoe Nage. Come into it again, leave that foot again, leave the other foot. Okay, now, when he puts that foot up there, that's Derek's cue to curl it. Very shrimp, very tight. Get his elbow in. Don't float your elbow out. Get your elbow in, and that helps put your body in a very compact, tight space. See how the position is here? The back leg is driving off the mat. Back leg here, this is a driving off the mat. Eventually it won't, but right now it's driving off the mat for more power into the throw. Okay? Come on, do it again. Go ahead and stay there, Sandy, with the video. We can start there. So let's go ahead and do it one more time. Actually throw. Come right over on top. Very, very useful technique in all body weight classes, but you tend to see this a lot in the lighter weights because this comes out of a very fast tempo in Judo and Sambo. We see that very fast tempo. Right over, finishing up. There are other ways to do it, to finish out. You can throw across your body. You want to try it? Come on, yeah, throw the side. I'll get out of your way, guys. So here's a variation of it, to throw that way. Once you go in, Derek threw Mike across Derek's body. One more time, guys. Just a little different variation. Angle of the throw is different a bit here. And there we have that. That's a very popular way to do it as well. So these are just some variations doing Yoko Tomoe Nage. Now let's take a look at how we like to do Yoko Tomoe Nage right into JUJI, because we find great value in that as well. And this is, I first picked it up in Sambo And we've been using it a lot. Just about any fighting sport we do, we like to do this technique. So can you just demo spinning Juju Tomoe Nage? There we go. So YOKO Tomoe Nage has a lot of value, if nothing else. You may not like it as a throw, but you sure may like it as a setup to get your Juji GATAME. And you notice he did a little slightly different. He put his leg on the outside of his foot on the outside of Mike's hip, just as a setup to get the body across. Do that one more time. Right like that. That's also good too. So if that's what you want is a Tomoe Nage set up to a JUJI, that's often a good way to get it. So there we have YOKO Tomoe Nage as a throw and also as a great setup.
What I'm going to do, I'm doing mine off of the left side, but you can do it off of the right side just as easily. So I'm going to come over on the same side that I want my leg up. I want my right leg up. So I'm going to rotate over here. And then as I come in, I'm going to lead with my left and push his right leg. Okay? Push, he moves, my foot comes up, moves again. And over we go. And you can flip over on him as well. But use your hands just like we were with done. Okay? Through, push.
See, it's very economy of movement, everybody. And like Don Hinchcliffe was saying earlier, you don't want to give him a lot of airtime where he can spin out and maybe counter do something else. You want to get him fast on his back. And this is a way of doing it. Can you kind of from a different angle so we can see a back view of this?
So real hard pull, real hard push. Okay, if you don't have that, it's not going to work. So I'm through here, I'm pushing, and I get my foot nice and deep, and I sit back and I don't use my hands, he just collapses down. Okay, no more guard. We're going to pull nice and hard on the sleeve, turn. Like Donnie was saying, look at whichever side you're going to go, try to get him as quickly as you can.
It's a very fast turn into that direction. So if your right foot is pushing, you're actually rolling to your right.
Yes, but you're pulling so hard and punching so hard with this hand, it's almost easy to turn that way.
Can you show us one more time and show us the hand action as you're doing it? Maybe from a different direction here.
Right here, push, okay, foot up, as I'm coming down and pulling nice and hard, lift, and you're going to see where my hand ends up, almost like I'm trying to punch the mat. So I've got a good pull here. My knuckles are punched right on the mat. I'll try and do it a little bit slower. Okay. See, my hand's right here, touching the mat. Still got a good, nice, tight grip there. The leg is definitely a big part of the throw, but the hands are really the star there.
But in a real finish, you'd follow right onto him under in a holding situation on top of him. Okay, let's try that, guys. Kind of a YOKO Tomoe Nage, a side Tomoe Nage that is a really nice fake out style, because what Derek's going to do, are you going to use your left foot to prop with?
Right.
Your right foot. So he's going to fake. He's going to like do a foot sweep, fake with a left foot sweep to open him up. See that little? See I slap the inside of his foot. That made Ben open up. Okay, so start that again. So they open up. You stand your grip and just kind of fake a kochi, and you slip him right in. Okay, so it's a really nice way to set up. It's standard stuff. You know, you see guys like Kasha Wazaki probably did this with great success, and others. But it really is a good way to open his legs up and open his stance up to get your Tomoe Nage in. So can you... And really that initial setup is really just the setup. It's to elicit a response. It's to open Ben up. Can you show how you open him up? Just kind of slap his, like a fake a ko-uchi actually. Boom, there you go. See, it puts your foot right there like you stay in line with that. Then he goes to action. Spins right in.
Once we open up, that's basically the same thing we were doing before about moving with that knee. It's going to be the same kind of pattern. I'm just opening up with more of a classic style pattern. Moving his foot and then letting my foot continue down. And then this one is going to curl at me super, super tight. And I'm going to try and pull and kick that way. So there's some twist to it that wasn't there before. Okay, so instead of him coming right there, I'm going to twist in and try and extend that way. So I'm up and under. And as long as you're pulling on the sleeves, it makes the twist fairly simple. Okay?
It's almost a shrinking like
Donnie was saying earlier, because I'm controlling this hand and pulling super hard, he can't post that to cartwheel out. If he does try to post with that, I'm pushing him that way. So he's thinking to cartwheel that way. I'm thinking to pulling him and extend my leg when he can go behind him. And you let go of the pull or the push until he's over there. And in that reaction, I'm still in the middle of him and slightly forward. So I've got to curl under a little bit harder and pull harder.
Variation of Tomoe Nage, YOKO Tomoe Nage, and it's more to the side than straight over the top. And the way that I like to set it up is I was thinking, how am I going to be able to, which direction am I going to be able to break his balance the easiest, whether I'm standing doing a standing throw, a forward throw, a rear throw, or a sacrifice throw. And if I can get this leg forward, and I see his balance easily broken this way now, and I can set underneath him in here and set down and place my foot here. I'm a right-handed player, and I've still got control of this right side, so he can't stick his hand out to stop this throw, and then I can turn him over and just rotate him over my foot. Okay? If this foot was forward, if that foot was forward and I'm stepping in trying to do this, his foot's here, and with me trying to throw him over the top of that leg, it makes it a lot harder, a lot tougher for me to be able to do that. So I want to be able to get this foot forward. So what I'll do is just walk backwards, just roll. We're just going to walk a little back. Just like this. Okay? We're going to walk back this way. So what I'll do is when this foot's coming forward, which is what I want, I'll place my foot right there. Okay? So this foot's back, this foot's forward. Now I'm inside. Now I'm going to sit down and stick my foot right in here, like right here. And I'm probably going to put right under his belt. On his stomach, on his hip. Okay? So I'm going to sit in and stand up. Okay? So I'm going to sit in here and just turn it over to the side. Because that's where his balance is put. Okay? So it's a really easy setup for this throw. We're just going to walking back, he decides I'm going back, I'm going back more. He starts throwing this way, and I'm not going to take that step. I'm going to let him step right into it, sit down in it, and throw it to the side. Control this arm so he can't reach out and stop it. So we're practicing. Take 1 or 2 steps back, come back this way. I'm going to pick up this foot like I'm going to step back. I'll pull with this hand just like we were going to walk. And then I don't pick this foot up and step back. I pick it up and I put it right back down. It's in. And then I'm just going to set down, have my foot here, and rotate him over my foot. And then I use my hands, both hands, to rotate him over. Okay? Questions? Good. Let's try it.